Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about the anxious mind, understanding the mind of somebody going through anxiety, whether it's you, whether it's someone you know. If it's someone you know, show them this video because it can be an eye-opening moment for them because that person is in total chaos. And the likelihood that the people around them, they don't know what they're going through because it's if they didn't experience anxiety themselves, they are unaware of what really is going on in the mind of someone struggling with anxiety. Those people could be saying to that person struggling, just calm down, have a beer, just relax, just, you know, watch some TV. That doesn't help. That doesn't help someone with anxiety. They're in chaos. They're in limbo. They're in unknown territory. So the goal of this video is to shift that person from unknown territory to known unknown territory. I'm going to explain that in just a little bit. And my channel is all about that. It's about providing content about what is anxiety, how do you overcome anxiety, how do you tell that you have anxiety through the habits, through the sensations. So a lot of people come to me and say, Brad, I moved from this chaotic state to a more, more lessened state of my anxiety because I found your channel, because I moved from that unknown to the known unknown, and thus I'm starting to perceive my sensations and my identity differently because of your videos. And I'm like, yeah, of course, because you're moving from that unknown to the known unknown, right? So let's talk about the mind of an anxiety sufferer. Now, they're in chaos. I was in chaos when I was going through my anxiety disorder, and I was highly sensitized to the whole world around me. So it could have been a doctor's TV show. It could have been an ambulance passing by. It could have been a billboard talking about my health, or like health in general. Like, have you got your heart checked, or have you, got your shot for this disease or something like that. It could be somebody at a coffee shop talking about a serious disease, and you kind of perk up and you listen because you think you have that. So you're highly sensitive to things pertaining to your health. And to an anxiety sufferer, they're highly sensitive day after day because their amygdala is constantly active. Something triggered that amygdala, a perceived threat, and now it's continuously active. The amygdala is the fight, flight, or freeze response, or in other words, it's your stress response. So your stress response is constantly active, and then that becomes the new normal for that person. So every day they expect just to have all of these sensations, just to feel anxious and highly sensitized. And then since that's their new normal, they start to perceive the sensations as being life-threatening rather than pertaining to anxiety. They don't even know what really anxiety is. I didn't know what anxiety was. I just misinterpreted all of my sensations as being life-threatening. Oh, this pain, it could be a disease. This pinch could be a disease, or this lump in my throat could be something, or this headache could be brain tumor. And so I would start to perceive, and then I would continue the pattern over and over again, and thus valuing the Googling of the symptoms. I would value the reassurance from my loved ones. I would value the forums talking about these symptoms and sensations. So I started to value this dependency, because what you act out is what you value. So whatever you act out every day, you're telling your unconscious mind, this is what I value. And so it puts it up on the hierarchy of values. If you continuously run the pattern of seeking that reassurance from your loved ones, You're just going to keep on growing this dependent identity. And that's what I did. I kept growing this identity. I didn't know I had anxiety. I just misinterpreted my sensations. I kept on cycling through the habits that kept my anxious identity alive. And then I became even more sensitized. I became even more dependent on those band-aids, just watching TV to block out of the sensations that I feel, or eating the junk foods to momentarily suppress all the emotions going on, all the sensations. Or I could be smoking weed, which I did at the time when I was going through anxiety, to numb the feelings that I had. Or you drink alcohol to numb those feelings and suppress those feelings. And so these are common habits that keep your anxious identity alive. But the thing is, you want to chip away at all of these poor beliefs that make you view yourself as being unhealthy, as being weak-minded and independent, right? You want to chip away at these poor beliefs. So these videos are made so that you can begin the process, so that you can have these paradigm shifts. Oh, this is what I'm doing daily that's really supporting my anxious identity. Oh, this is what I need to do in order to overcome this dependency and this health anxiety that I'm going through. So the mind of an anxiety sufferer is chaotic, and the amygdala takes over all other brain processes when it's active. So that means that the anxiety sufferer tends to lose their sense of self. They think that they're not themselves anymore. They think that they're going crazy. They think that they can't control their movements. And in some sense, they're right, because the amygdala took over. It's in fear response mode. It's detect a predator in the environment. And so that's why you may feel like you're not yourself. And it's true. So you got to get back into yourself and back into your own skin, to become comfortable back in your own skin. So how do you become comfortable back in your own skin? Well, the first step is to move from that unknown territory to the known unknown territory. So what that means is unknown territory is when I was struggling with anxiety, health anxiety especially, but I didn't know that I was. I was in chaos. The constant doctor visits would confirm that I was healthy, but in my mind, I still felt like I was unhealthy because I was still feeling the sensations. So I had no idea I had anxiety. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea whether or not I was dying from a physical illness. That's unknown territory. That's chaos. But people come to me and say, Brad, I discovered your videos, and then my sensations and my anxiety lessened a little bit because of that. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you now discovered that you have anxiety. So you've moved from this unknown state to this known unknown state. You now know, okay, it's anxiety, but it's still unknown because you don't know the anxiety recovery process. I didn't know the anxiety recovery process. You know, I discovered I had anxiety through the people I found on the internet, coaches, but I had no idea what to do. I had no idea the recovery process. I didn't know how hard the recovery process was going to be. I didn't even know what anxiety really was. I knew generally what it was, but I didn't know how to overcome anxiety or what is going on internally that's making me feel all of these sensations. So moving from unknown to known unknown is a huge step, because now you come to the realization, oh, I have anxiety, but what do I need to do next? So that's when you become a student of anxiety. You become a student, now it's the learning process. It's like going back into the classroom. Now you got to be the fool, right? And a lot of people don't want to go through this process. It's because they feel like a fool. They're bad at it. But I always say, of course you're going to be bad at it. I was bad at meditating. I was so bad at it when I first started. I was bad at the habits that I started to formulate. The cold showers, the relaxation techniques, the breathing, the posture techniques, all of these things, I was bad at it. The elastic band technique, the journaling, I was bad at it. I was bad at everything. And of course you're going to be bad at it. You have to become the fool first in order to become the master. But the thing is, a lot of people don't want to become the fool. They don't want to go through that cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is feeling, thinking, and behaving in a manner that you're not accustomed to. So of course people don't want to go through that because it's tough. And it's also tough to come to the realization that you have a lot of work to do with yourself. A lot of your faults come forward. A lot of the past comes forth because you have to deal with the past in order to release it, because you're still holding on to it. You're still holding on to parts of the past. So a lot of people come to me and during, especially in my coaching, they say, there's all of these negative things currently happening in my life. But then I'm like, okay, let's start to peel the onion a bit. What happened back when you were a child? When did this anxiety first come about? And they think, and they're like, oh, when I was 10 years old, when I was 12, and this traumatic event happened. And so a part of that person is still stuck in that 10-year-old self, still trying to comprehend that trauma that they experienced. And so we peel back the onion layers because it's not currently really the things that are going on, but the things that have led you to the chaos that you're currently in, right? You got to learn what you've been doing, the habits, the bad habits, the thinking patterns that you've been doing that have been supporting this chaos that you're currently in, or the person that you know is currently in. So it's very, very, very rare that somebody goes into therapy or coaching who have a mental illness. Very rare. What it is that the person's life has gotten so chaotic. It's gotten beyond them, right? The things have just gotten so out of control. You can think of it as the person as the glass, and the water is overflowing. You're pouring water into the glass, it's overflowing. That's the person in chaos, unknown. There's just too much stuff, too much trauma from their past, too much chaos in their present, and they can't get a grip over it because it's hard, because their amygdala has taken over all brain processes and they can't think properly, so they're now a slave, they're now a puppet to their emotion, to their thoughts, and everything's beyond them. So it's about adding order to the chaos. Let's start emptying the glass. Let's go back to the past. Let's pick the past apart. Let's release the trauma from the past so that we can release that baggage, pour out the water, right? So that you can start to feel lighter. You can start to feel more in the present moment. You can start to feel more in tune with yourself. That's the thing. To become more in tune with yourself, to become comfortable in your own skin, to have more self-respect, to move from that dependency of being that anxiety victim to being more of that independent warrior, comfortable person that you've always wanted to become. To be the person who's more neutral in their emotions. So that's the mind of an anxiety sufferer. They're in chaos. There's too much water overflowing. They can't seem to get a grip, or they don't even know where to begin to feel normal again. But it all begins with moving from that unknown unknown to the known unknown, and then becoming a student, learning what can I do to lessen my anxiety today. I can start to change my habits. I can start to journal, right? That's a new positive habit. Adopting a role model and always listening and learning from that role model who went through the same thing you're currently going through and then who has gotten better from it. So you got to learn from them. How did they get better from it? You know, they were in the same spot I'm in, and they overcame it, so it's possible. Yes, it is possible. So watch this video a few times, write notes, and let this information ingrain within your unconscious mind. Just keep watching it because I pack a lot of information into these videos, but it's important that you continue to watch them over and over and over again so that you can fully understand the information, and then information puts you in formation to the ideal you that you've always wanted to become. It puts you in formation. I like that one. That's a good one. So continue watching the video. If you have any questions, or if you think I missed something, always leave your comments below. So leave your comments, or if you have a topic that you want me to cover, leave your comments below. And lastly, do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be the first to know. Namaste.